Good morning and welcome to Rising. Well, we've got a great show for you all today, and plus we're in for a treat because we have the great Olayemi Olurin back in studio with us to kick off the week. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Robby, and good morning, everybody. Our panel will weigh in on some new inflation polling and what the White House is saying about a pending recession. Plus, Liz Wolfe is back with some new reporting on monkeypox. But first, by now, you've all seen this.
Well, that was President Biden taking a spill during a bike ride in his home state of Delaware so he was riding a bike in Rehoboth Beach over the weekend. You can see the fall here from a couple different angles, and it was definitely, he got his foot caught in that little thing on his bike. But even former President Trump has expressed that he hopes Biden was okay and wished him a quick recovery during his American Freedom Tour in Tennessee on Saturday. Biden memes have flooded the internet, of course, and Trump, unsurprisingly, couldn't help himself from jumping on that trend. So he posted this on his Truth Social app over the weekend. Oh, that's fine.
It was all in good fun, though. Biden's fall was minimal, as you can see. He was back up and posing with people at the scene following his viral spill. Reporters got Biden's reaction to the incident as the president left church Sunday. Let's watch.
Mr. President, how are you feeling? How are you feeling, sir? Good. There you go.
Any bumps or bruises, Mr. President?
What did Jill say, Mr. President?
So I don't know how people are reacting to this. I didn't look. I try to get off social media every now and then. I didn't look very much online for what people were saying. So I don't know if this has kicked off another round of Biden's too old or he's lost it. And so I do think Biden is too old, and there is some. He communicates so much more poorly than he used to. I don't know about any of that, but I will say I don't think this is an example because anyone can get their foot caught. If you look, it's clear he just gets his foot caught. Yeah, so we were talking before the show about all the times I've fallen while exercising.
Right. I
don't think I'm too old to run for president. I never will, but.
I think Biden is, in fact, a rapidly aging senior citizen, and I do think we should probably err away from having rapidly aging senior citizens as our presidents. However, I'm on your side with this one, too. I don't think this was evidence of his age or any lack of wherewithal. I think, he took a little spill, and not for nothing, he bounced back pretty quickly.
Bounced right back. We're glad he's in fine shape. Oh, you're laughing. That was you. That was Ole.
Okay, but that was the angle. I wasn't ready for the angle. I was a pretty comedic angle, Robby.
Yeah. No, I was in college. I was running once, and I jumped a little gate. I got my foot caught on the gate as I went over it. I went face first in the concrete. And
haven't learned from your mistakes.
No, I'm scooting all the time. Falling off the scooter, maybe a few times. All right, we're taking this story lightly, but we're not taking inflation lightly. Inflation and gas prices. So Biden has expressed optimism in the face of these challenges. Some say that it makes the president seem out of touch with voters who are bearing the brunt of the price hikes, the price increases. Meanwhile, Democrats are very frustrated over the administration's inability to get much done other than ponder about doing something, including issues like student loan forgiveness, something Biden obviously campaigned on.
And over at The Atlantic, author Ronald Brownstein whipped up another pipe dream for Democrats, this time in the form of California Governor Gavin Newsom swooping in to save the Democratic Party from the culture wars.
Nobody can help themselves with this kind of wish casting, though. Oh, what if somebody else ran for president? What if, this is the pundit's favorite game? It's just stupid because Biden is extraordinarily likely to run again.
Yeah, he's probably right.
And if not, he would have to just resign. If he's not in good enough shape to run for re-election, then he should just resign, and then Kamala Harris is going to be the president. So the odds that it's going to be Biden, and in the extraordinarily unlikely circumstance where he has some extreme health reason or something, then it's going to be Kamala Harris. So we don't need to talk about Newsom or anyone else.
I would be okay with us throwing out possible other Democrats to run, or at least trying to build some kind of momentum or excitement around the possibility of someone else, because I am someone
But just to push him left, right? Not to actually.
Well, I don't necessarily think Biden should run again. I'm not convinced that he could win. But I'll say this, I would prefer, if they're going to throw out somebody, I would prefer it not be people like Gavin Newsom, who've already said very clearly that they're not going to run. He said he's not going to get in the way of, Kamala. He said if Kamala were to do that, and it's his understanding that Biden is going to run again. So,
do you think Gavin Newsom, does he have an appeal abroad a bit? Who likes Gavin Newsom? I don't find him appealing at all. I know him, he's obviously not my governor, I don't live in California, but I mostly know him for being incredibly extreme on COVID restrictions that he himself didn't follow. Isn't that what his national profile is?
I don't know if that's his national profile. I think his national profile is that of, California being a pretty liberal, outspoken Democrat. And I think there is some truth that is probably liked. And if there were a world where he was really going to run for president, I think now would be a good time to say it and start building his profile and momentum and people talking about him. But that being said, I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't think that we're going to start talking about him or see this fan base kind of blow up. But if it were the case, I would be okay with a Newsom, but I just don't think it's this world.
I'm not open to Newsom. It's not going to happen. I don't think there's any evidence that he would be more popular than Biden. So Biden is obviously not as popular as it used to be, but there's no one to replace him who commands, unless we're talking outside the political sphere. If some Democrats need like a celebrity type person to come out of nowhere who has massive name recognition. Matthew McConaughey, The Rock. So I'm not saying they would be good at politics or makes any sense, but
no more of that.
Just from a purely political, strategic perspective.
I agree. I think in a different world, if we were looking, this were further into the future and not now, I think somebody, I know you're not going to like it when I say Robby, but I think AOC is somebody with the name recognition and national profile, somebody that people could at least get excited about. Obviously, it would be a lot of people would not like it, but there were a lot of
far left people would get excited.
We would love it. We would love it. So I do think, unfortunately, I don't really see anybody else that's jumping out as somebody that Dems could put there, which is why I think if there were a world where they really didn't want Biden to run again and get somebody, it would be a good time now to start rallying around a figure, like make us know them. I didn't always know DeSantis, but I know him now because the Republicans made sure. So I'm sure the same thing could be done with a Newsom or someone else. I just don't think they're going to do it.
You're right. The conservative media is building DeSantis as an alternative, obviously, to Biden, but to Trump.
Exactly.
Because they don't want, and he has, DeSantis actually does have, finally the Trump fever is breaking a little bit on the right. It had gone on for so long that you started to think it was terminal and was never going to break. But now DeSantis is, as far as I can tell, about as popular a figure, if not maybe a little bit more popular among Republicans. And obviously, the very Trump-loving base, if they're okay with DeSantis too, he's going to win in a head-to-head because Republican media likes him so much better.
And I'm really worried that maybe liberal media isn't doing enough to point out the danger that is DeSantis, because I think what's going to happen, or what could happen, is DeSantis is obviously extremely popular around Republicans, but I don't know if liberals who are not paying as much attention to all the different politicians and actors are aware that DeSantis has this kind of fire and support that he has. And what I wouldn't want to happen is see, because there's not a Trump, that the voter turnout, people don't have the same kind of urgency to get rid of a Trump. They're not thinking about a DeSantis, and he just whooshes in. DeSantis
has been the subject of some plenty of what I think is legitimate criticism from the media, but also some ridiculous criticism that was not very good. He got, I remember this, it was a 60 Minutes hit piece on him about how there was something corrupt about which pharmacies had gotten the vaccines, and it was a total nothing burger. It was so ridiculous. There's been a couple things like that are actually, it's the kind of hit piece you want to be the subject of, because then it makes your critics
because it detracts from the legitimate claims. I think they should probably spend a lot more time criticizing DeSantis on things like what's happening with the LGBT, Q issues, things happening. I would stay away from the COVID stuff because I think
we're all over it.
I think a lot of people are over it on both sides.
I'm over it. Well, I've been over it since like day 2.
Exactly.
But you're getting over it, so that shows there's some. You're right that it's across the spectrum.
I think people are
do not want to live under COVID tyranny anymore.
I've noticed people are just not really interested in it as a topic anymore as much across both aisles. So I think they should focus on what are his social issues, his social views, because not for nothing, social issues are half the reason why people run out to get rid of the Trump. So for the same reason, I think they should be focusing on that with DeSantis.
Yeah, conservative overreach on that kind of stuff might bring Democrats back into the fold. All right, we'll tell you what's on our radars coming up next.